At first, it seems that the television programming that happens in Japan has to stay in Japan. But I'll never know how the people in America were able to negotiate with Toei. When I first looked at Power Rangers, I had absolutely no consciousness of Super Sentai where the stuff comes from. And when I came to know Super Sentai, there was a lot more to see. As I looked at it and into it, I was getting a bit of the same sense as when I watched Power Rangers. So what is it about Super Sentai that made people want to use footage of it into their own show instead of try their own thing? There must be something about Super Sentai that just about everyone can agree on. Here's my way of thinking it. Super Sentai as a whole franchise has some element that differentiates itself from all the other media franchises. Whoever in the United States who saw even a glimpse of it must have loved it and felt it should be seen in at least their country. And if any show from the United States did it themselves, it just wouldn't be comparable enough. And that leads to stuff seen in the Super Sentai shows to be put into shows in that part of the world. Of course, the first Super Sentai show to be brought to English is not Zyuranger. Super Sentai was put into English language shows a couple of times before. The first of which is Dynaman, though I wouldn't consider it an adaptation. It's basically the same episodes with new things to hear. I was able to see a clip of it on YouTube, and good grief, what I was listening to is unendurable. I think this is enough justification that this show derived of Dynaman is no good. It's not an anime show, but couldn't they simply translate what the characters are saying? Also, does it really help that the show is simply called Dynaman? After that, Bioman was used next. And this is when Saban was involved. For what was made, no one was interested. So Saban never built up anything from it. I saw the intro of the pilot on YouTube and I wasn't feeling the show's flow. But when Zyuranger was taken in that many years later, finally a trend to follow. It must have taken a good enough concept to get the attention of the target audience. Needless to say, though, Super Sentai changed significantly over the years. Starting with Denji Man, there'd be Battle Mech that can turn into a giant walking fighting machine. And starting with Dynaman, the superhero suits would be made out of spandex, which is visually better than what looks like regular cloth, which was done since Go Ranger. But it's the footage that is reused that's a bore. Not the transformations or the mech finishers, but the explosions when the monsters are destroyed. Conveniently, that wouldn't last forever. Since Changeman, original footage of monsters bursting into flames were made. And starting with Zyuranger, there would be extra heroes who would join the main team during the second half of their respective series or so. And this is what Saban used for a new show of theirs to later become a television franchise, hence Power Rangers. And whatever new changes Super Sentai implemented, computer graphics and all, the Power Rangers franchise adapted to them as best as it could. So presumably, Saban was smart to start with adapting Zyuranger. If every Super Sentai series was adapted, someone could have caught on as early as while Go Ranger was being shown. But would it make the most sense if that did happen? However, there can be other shows you can make out of the Super Sentai shows besides Power Rangers, which don't have to be turned into big media franchises. Dynaman was handled horribly, yet I see potential in it. As with Bioman, though I do think something better could have been done with it. But I see a considerable amount of potential in Denjiman, Sun Vulcan, Goggle 5, Flashman, Maskman, Turbo Ranger, Fiveman, and Jetman. And any series afterwards that frankly can't and shouldn't be brought into Power Rangers. I see that those series can be used for other shows as well, certain enough. Super Sentai has potential, and not just for Japanese television. And I believe that's why there are these adaptations of them going on. And if Saban accomplished this, why not other studios as well? Unless I'm told otherwise, it just takes permission from Toei for any studio to do it. If new problems are brought up because of whatever from Super Sentai is not in Power Rangers, I can only hope something can be worked around them. Upon reflection, any Super Sentai series is adaptable. It just doesn't mean that every one of them can be used for Power Rangers. But think of the possibilities. If it's done the right way, it's a good thing.